This movie, which was made nearly 50 years ago, predicted exactly how television would manipulate your mind today. If you think you know about media, you may be surprised to is actually a carefully constructed illusion designed to keep you passive, angry, and distracted. Network, the 1976 masterpiece, didn't just predict our current media landscape, but warned us about the dangerous path we were already heading down. Picture this. It's 1976. Jimmy Carter is about to become president. People still gather around television sets as families. Cable news doesn't exist yet. Social media is decades away. And yet, one brilliant screenwriter saw exactly where we were headed. His name was Paddy Chayefsky, and he wrote what many consider the most prophetic screenplay in cinema history. Network tells the story of Howard Beale, a veteran news anchor who suffers a complete mental breakdown on live television. Instead of firing him, the network executives realize his unhinged rants are pure ratings gold. They transform him into the mad prophet of the airwaves, complete with his own show called The Howard Beale Show. But here's where it gets really twisted. The more outrageous and angrier Beale becomes, the more viewers tune in. Sound familiar? The film was directed by Sidney Lumet, a master filmmaker who understood that the best way to expose television's power was to make a movie that felt as immediate and raw as a live broadcast. Lumet had previously directed classics like 12 Angry Men and Serpico, but Network would become his most enduring legacy. He created a visual style that made viewers feel like they were watching real events unfold, not a scripted drama. Now let's talk about the incredible cast that brought this vision to life. Peter Finch played Howard Beale, the Mad Prophet himself. Finch delivered one of the most powerful performances in film history, literally dying shortly after filming Wrapped. He would posthumously win the Academy Award for Best Actor, making him one of only 2 actors to ever win an Oscar after death. William Holden played Max Schumacher, the old-school news executive caught between his principles and the network's hunger for ratings. Holden represented the dying breed of journalists who believed news should inform rather than entertain. His character serves as our guide through this media nightmare, showing us what we're losing as television becomes pure spectacle. Faye Dunaway gave a career-defining performance as Diana Christensen, the ruthlessly ambitious programming executive who sees Howard Beale's breakdown as her ticket to success. Dunaway won the Best Actress Oscar for this role, creating a character so coldly calculating that she became the template for every media villain that followed. Robert Duvall played Frank Hackett, the corporate shark who represents pure business interests taking over journalism. And Beatrice Straight, in just 5 minutes of screen time, delivered such a powerhouse performance as Max's wife that she won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. But here's where Network becomes more than just great acting and directing. The plot itself is a masterclass in predicting how media would evolve. Howard Beale's famous rant, where he tells viewers to go to their windows and shout about being mad as hell, wasn't just a moment of television drama. It was Chayefsky showing us exactly how media would learn to channel our anger and frustration into profit. The network executives don't care that Beale is mentally unstable. They care that he's getting ratings. They package his madness, brand it, market it, and turn it into entertainment. Diana Christensen literally schedules his nervous breakdown like any other television program. She negotiates with terrorists to create a weekly series. She turns news into reality television decades before reality television existed. And this brings us to the film's most crucial insight about the illusion of television. Network reveals that television isn't just entertainment or information. It's a drug designed to keep us passive and controllable. The characters in the film become addicted to the medium itself. They mistake television's version of reality for actual reality. Howard Beale initially seems like he's waking people up, telling them to get angry and take action. But watch what actually happens. People go to their windows, they shout, and then they go right back to watching television. The medium has taught them that expressing anger is the same as taking meaningful action. Sound familiar in our age of social media outrage? The film's most terrifying scene comes when Arthur Jensen, The corporate overlord, played by Ned Beatty, explains to Howard Beale how the world really works. He tells Beale that nations and ideologies are obsolete, that everything is just business now, just corporate structures managing human resources. This speech, delivered in 1976, describes our current global economy with frightening accuracy. But here's what makes Network truly brilliant. It doesn't just show us the problem, it shows us how we become complicit in our own manipulation. Every character who tries to use television for their own purposes eventually gets consumed by it. Max Schumacher loses his family and his principles. Diana Christensen becomes so obsessed with ratings that she loses her humanity. Even Howard Beale, who starts as a truth teller, becomes just another product to be marketed and eventually discarded. The film's ending is perhaps its most brutal truth. When Howard Beale's ratings start to drop, the network doesn't just cancel his show. They literally have him assassinated on live television, turning his death into the ultimate ratings grab. The medium consumes everything, even the people who try to expose its nature. So, what does this mean for us today? Network warns us that television, and by extension all media, creates a substitute reality designed to keep us consuming rather than acting. We mistake feeling informed for being informed. We confuse emotional manipulation for genuine connection. We let media outlets profit from our anger while never addressing the real sources of our problems. The art of illusion that television practices isn't magic tricks or special effects. It's the illusion that watching equals participating, that being outraged equals being engaged, that consuming media equals being informed. Television teaches us to be spectators in our own lives. Network shows us that waking up to reality means recognizing that media companies don't exist to inform us or entertain us. They exist to deliver our attention to advertisers. Every program, every news story, every piece of content is designed first and foremost to keep us watching, clicking, scrolling, consuming. The movie's message becomes more relevant every year. In our current media landscape of infinite channels, social media algorithms, and personalized content streams, we're more manipulated than Howard Beale's audience could have ever imagined. We live in echo chambers that confirm our existing beliefs while keeping us perpetually angry and divided, but recognizing the illusion is the first step toward breaking free from it. When we understand that media is designed to manipulate our emotions for profit, we can start consuming it more consciously. We can ask ourselves why certain stories are being promoted, what emotions they're trying to trigger, and what actions they want us to take But recognizing the illusion is the first step toward breaking free from it. When we understand that media is designed to manipulate our emotions for profit, we can start consuming it more consciously. We can ask ourselves why certain stories are being promoted, what emotions they're trying to trigger, and what actions they want us to take or avoid taking. Network reminds us that real change happens when we turn off the television, step away from our screens, and engage with the actual world around us. The most radical act in our media-saturated age might just be paying attention to reality instead of its carefully constructed substitute. This film was one of the most real and educating films that dealt with the reality of the illusion of cinema and television, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next movie.